Where are all those flamingos coming from?
I don't know. He just keeps adding flamingo. I think this
Are
one lights up. I don't
are
think
they
it's.
like just extra ones in
I
Texas? Is
don't
that a Texas thing?
see. Well, Anna's. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Oh, hey, that's fancy.
Ah, think
Look
about
at
that.
there. Look at
Uh,
there. We got a lot
Woo!
of flamingos.
Light up flamingo. You know what? You won't see that on Joe Rogan.
No,
Nope. Tom Segura.
no,
Not.
no. Conan's podcast. Nope.
Yep.
It doesn't have a lot of flamingo.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
folks, you're at the right place.
Yeah. And you know what I think about when I see a light up flamingo?
Well, I mean, uh,
I'm like, I would like that place. Like that looks like the
you would
type of,
like it, yeah.
yeah, that I should hang out. So I'd probably
You
keep
know,
that.
I'd probably share with people where it's at.
Yeah, like because they want to know where the light up flamingo is,
They'd want to know where that trailer park is.
where that trailer park is. Eee. Wowzers. Um. Anyway, then would they subscribe? This
they
is
would,
probably my worst segue yet,
they would
Travis.
subscribe to be able to get in
Get
because it
in.
would be
Yeah.
a high dollar trailer park that would
I
be
don't.
hard to get in and out of. I'm
Yeah.
guessing. Need a subscription to get in
Yeah. Yeah. This is
because
yeah.
it's got a lot of flamingos for crying out loud, folks. You
We
don't
have
just go
swung.
walking in. You don't just walk into trailer park with light up
No,
flamingos.
you gotta have an appointment.
Appointment. That's appointment only, baby.
And you know what? I bet a place like that would have a newsletter, and you'd want to subscribe to that
That's right.
newsletter.
Subscribe to it.
Be all kinds of fun stuff.
Like, share, subscribe.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Because this is the only place where you get the kind of talk you get about Razorbacks and whatever else we talk about. All the slop, plus a light up flamingo.
I've got one thing to say.
What is
Top
that?
that trade, Biddy.
That's right. Booyah.
Go on, Sean Michelle.
Hit that, Sean Michelle.
One, two, three, four. You ever seen a lame man walk? Ever heard a dumb man talk? Never seen a blind man see? I promise you will change his thing. You ever seen a cancer dead? Ever seen all the poor get fed? Ever seen a prisoner set free? I promise you will change his thing.
What's up, everybody? It's time. It's time for the Hawg Slop podcast. I'm your boy, Bigger T, joined as always by my man, Big C, Clint Clark, live from Victoria, Texas. How you doing, Clint?
Man, I am fantastic. Better than I deserve. You know, earlier today, Travis, I had a Fu Manchu mustache.
Oh,
And I remember I was just, it brought me back to like, being a kid and we first start growing hair and facial hair and we like don't know what to do. See, and this is what I'm going on a grumpy old man rant here. You know, back in our day, when you got to high school, we'd cut all our hair off.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like I remember my grandmother telling me she was ashamed of me because right before high school graduation, I took a number four to my head.
Yeah.
I mean, the number four. Like, I can't even grow my hair to a number four anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like, I wish I could go back to the day.
Yeah.
I don't, but I saw a picture of my cousin Brandy's kids. It was her son Jaden and Kyan. And Kyan's hair weighs more than he does.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, what's going on, Travis? I mean, you work with the kids. I mean, isn't
Oh, it's crazy,
epidemic that
man.
these kids are.
There's a Latino kid at my school that I just admire his hair every day because
Yeah.
he has a poof that is amazing. And the first day of school, I said, "Man, your poof is looking awesome." Because dude, it just looked like I would grow my hair like that if I could get it to do what his does. Like it looks
Yeah.
so cool. But yeah, kids nowadays they grow it out. Clint, I'm down with the TikTok. I do the
Oh, you are on
I
the.
do the I'm on the TikTok.
I don't TikTok. I
I'm
don't even.
I'm on the TikTok. Bigger T 573, I think.
Yeah,
Anyway, so if you
follow
want
him
to
or
follow
something.
me. Yeah, but and on TikTok, you have this for you, and so it just gives you things that they think you would like. And sometimes it hits it, and sometimes like you're like, yeah, never mind. I would never watch that. Well, one of the things that I've gotten, and I've watched a lot of the videos, so I've gotten more of them, is there's these barbers from like different places. This one that I really like to watch is from like Wichita, Kansas. And
Mhm.
like people will drive for like a couple hours. And I think they pay this guy like $100 or something like that to do their hair. But he's kind of a younger guy. He looks like he's about 30 years old, something like that. And they do these, like he does these things with their hair, dude. And it's like these fades and like the modern mullets and all this different stuff. But it's really cool because he'll take guys that have like they're balding at like a big forehead and balding,
Right. Yeah.
and he'll do it and show them how to, and he'll do it to where it'll cover that up and everything. But it's a whole new world with the whole hair thing nowadays, dude. Like guys have all kinds of crazy stuff.
See, my stepson, I don't know when the last time he cut his hair was.
Yeah,
I'm thinking Obama was president, to be honest.
yeah,
No, but I mean, he's got it down past his shoulders and stuff. And
yeah,
I asked him, I said, man, how much will you, like, I'm not going to pay you to do it, but how much
yeah,
would you buzz your hair off for? And he's like, I'd have to be like, he either said 500 or 5 grand. Either way, I wasn't paying either
yeah. It's
amount.
too high. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Now
too, like, I don't even,
there's another guy like I think this guy's in like New Jersey or New York, somewhere like that. He's got a wheel. Okay. And these
yeah.
kids will come in and he has to get their parents to okay this. Okay. But they'll spin the wheel and they got to get whatever haircut it lands on. And some of them are like this one, he'll make it look like they got nothing but sunglasses up here. Like,
Yeah.
you're putting your sunglasses on top of your head and shave the rest of it. He'll do checkerboards. Like one of the big ones he does a lot is an old man haircut. So it's like a big bald spot in the middle and to the front,
Oh, well, I got that.
Yeah, that's right. And it's so funny. And then like they can win.
Genetics gave me that.
They can also win like $50 or whatever, something like that. But anyway, it's so funny. And so like whatever it does, they got to do it and they got to leave the shop with it that way. Now they can go home and shave, they probably go home and shave it the rest of the way
Yeah.
off, but it's pretty funny to watch because these kids will come in there. They're so excited.
Well, you remember when we played that rec league football that me and you played in.
Yeah.
I tried to put my hair up in dreads, but I tried to grow it out long enough to get it up in dreads,
Yeah.
and I couldn't. So we just put in a bunch of little ponytails, and I was going to go play a football game like that because I thought it would look cool.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're talking
Yeah.
to the same guy that shaved his head and had sideburns because he thought it looked cool.
Yeah.
It didn't.
Yeah.
There's pictures out there somewhere, but I remember I didn't think it through because, like I often don't.
Yeah.
I'll go to put my football helmet on,
Yeah.
and I have all these rubber bands holding these little ponytails on,
Yeah.
and it's like a bunch, like somebody just pulling my hair. Like,
Yeah.
oh God! And so
Yeah.
I had to take them all out. It's like, yeah.
Well, and that's one thing about a lot of the haircuts these kids will get. A lot of them are designed to look good with them wearing a hat, especially
Yeah.
like baseball players. Baseball players, they'll get their haircut just so they look good wearing their hat playing baseball.
No, I get that because I
Yeah.
mean, I used to try to, grow over the summer. I'd cut it off come football season, but I try to get the wings when I put my hat on. You remember that? I want the
Yeah.
wings on my
Oh,
hat.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
here's the deal, Clint. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
In this day and age, my hair in high school would have fit right in because I rocked the modern mullet.
You did have the modern mullet. You had a
Because
little curl in the back.
my hair would curl up in the back,
See, so would mine.
so I would grow it long in the back. Like it would, like if I pulled my curls down, it would go down to like the center of my, like the middle of my shoulder blades
Yeah.
up there. And so, and one of the reasons I did that is because I liked the way it looked with a cap on. And so, but I would leave the top and like even when I was like like junior high, I was trying to get it to where it would spike up here, but that was back when people were perming the back of their hair. Well, I didn't have to perm it because I had curly
No,
hair.
see, I never grew mine out in the back like that, but if I did, mine would do the same
Yeah.
thing. It would curl up.
And so, like, I look back at some of those pictures, I'm like, man, I'd be like one of these kids nowadays, I'd fit right in. Back then I look back and I'm like, yeah, not hardly anyone else had this hair back then, but oh well.
That's because
Well,
you were ahead of
anyway,
your time, my friend, ahead of your
I'm
time.
ahead of my time. That's right. Well, Clint, I want to talk about something real quick. How about our boy Cam Little?
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh goodness gracious. I don't care if it's preseason,
Yeah,
if it's practice, if it's the spring game, if you kick
70
70
yard
yards.
field goal.
I remember when I was at Tech, we had Peter Stitchen from Poland, who was like an all-world kicker.
Yeah.
And we lined up to kick like a 55 yarder or 60 yarder or something like that. And of course, I was not on the field to block for it.
Yeah.
So this story got to me secondhand. Of course,
Yeah.
maybe third. No, but I remember one of the defensive linemen asked Mark Ellison, goes, "What are y'all doing?" He goes, "We're lined up for a field goal." He goes, "Can he make that?" Yeah, he was just curious,
Can he
like,
do that?
can he do it? So there was somebody. So what they had to be on. If I'm doing the math correctly, they had to be on their own 45.
I think it was snap from the 47. He was on the
47, yeah. So I
40 or
have to do
something
the
like that.
math because you got to add
Or
10 yards,
something like that.
10 plus 7, so you have 17 onto it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like the 48 it'd be, I think.
It snapped. He kicked it from the 40 on the other side.
Dude, I'm trying to do math in my head
Did you
and I'm
hear
not.
what did you hear what his quarterback said? What's his quarterback's name?
Oh, Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence. He said they asked him about it. And he's like, yeah, it's kind of cool. He said, you think about it. On most kickoffs, we just need like 20 yards and we're in range. We can get points. But like, okay, Clint, you know, I was a pretty stellar kicker back in my
I
day.
brought that up in the group chat. I'm
I
like,
was, I was just call me Legs McGee over here.
listen, out of all the guys that kicked field goals at Greenbrier High School, you were one of them.
I was one of them. That's right. And in practice, uh, I never really tried like for distance a whole lot. But one day I did.
For good reason.
Yeah, because I was a punch it through type of guy. But I did get back about 45 yards one time. Oh, it was 45 yards. And I think, no lie, when I would practice after practice, well,
Yeah.
most of the time I didn't have anybody holding for me. So I kicked with my left foot. So I would take my right shoe off and use it to hold the ball in to kick out of. Okay.
Okay.
So that was my tee. And I kicked a 45 yarder out of my shoe.
No, I believe you.
And but dude, I like beasted that one. Like I hit it right because I was a straight on kicker. I kicked it right in the fat of the ball. Like it may not have made it over the offensive lineman's head. It was a line shot. Like, to get it there, I had to do a line shot. So like if there would have been, but I mean, it took everything I had and a perfect strike for me to get 45. 70? And it would have been good from 73, 75, man. I mean,
Listen, I
he
tell you what I
kicked the
would like.
mess out of that ball.
What I'd love to do is to go back in time. If I had a time machine, you think I would do these things, like tell myself, like, hey, correct some of my mistakes. I would go to you.
No.
I would come to you. I would get money somehow, and I'd go back, and I'd pay to send you to the finest kicker camps in the world. In the world, my
it
friend.
wouldn't have helped.
In the world. No, think about it. If we'd have played this right, or is that what I'd have
fattest kicker ever.
I would take young you
Yeah.
and bring you to this time.
Yeah.
And that way we'd have two Travises existing in the same timeline.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah,
we'll call it Travis number two.
yeah. Sure.
OG Travis. Well, OG Travis, we will make him the Jared Lorenzen
That's
of
right.
kickers, and we'll count the NIL money. I think really building the time machine will pay for itself.
I was rocking about 290 pounds back then.
Yeah,
Svelte
left
290.
left footed, if I was not mistaken.
Left footed.
The hefty
Left footed.
lefty.
Left
Yes.
footed. And enough flexibility that my when I kicked the ball at 6 o'clock, my follow through was at like maybe 8 o'clock. Yes, I didn't have much flexibility, but
So yeah, that's what I'm gonna
anyway,
do. I'm
yeah,
gonna build the time machine.
yeah,
I'm gonna go back get younger Travis, bring him into this time.
yeah. Well,
Victoria
and
West, you got a new kicker on your hands.
hey, and you know what? And that Travis would have gone up and tried out for the Razorbacks because he would have thought, hey, that's what they need right now, a fat kicker.
Fat kicker.
That's the only thing they're missing on this team is a fat kicker.
Yeah.
That would be my that'd be what they need right now. So look,
You
the
gotta,
Hogs.
you're looking off. You see a ghost or something?
I think someone's here at my house. I don't know. So
Oh, well, you're probably
let's
under
see.
attack. It
Anyway,
could be OG Travis.
could be Sam Pittman hearing about fat kicker.
Yeah, yeah. Like, hey.
Hey man, you got any eligibility left? No. But anyway, uh Clint, fall practice is we're in the middle of it, right?
We're in the middle of it, and dude, there is nothing in this world that I miss less than getting up early in the morning to go hit another human being.
That's right, yeah.
But yeah, I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, they were talking about that on drive time this morning, talking about those first practices in the fall,
Yeah,
about your first day of pads doing like Oklahoma or Bloody Alley. Now they got confused because they were talking about, Oklahoma Bloody Alley. It's a similar drill, right? Usually have you one or two linemen, one or two, offensive linemen, one or two blockers, one or two defensive players, and then a guy running the ball, you know, and then a couple dummies to where you can't. The guy running the ball has to go right through, right?
right.
But
Yeah.
do you remember? And they mentioned this, but they were calling Oklahoma drill the same name as this. They said, "Oh, it goes by the other name, Bull in the Ring." Bull in the Ring was a different drill. You remember Bull in the
Oh yeah,
Ring?
no, Bull in the Ring. Actually, I've got a good story about this, and now I'm going to tell it because you can't stop me.
Okay.
So Bull in the Ring, that's a bunch of people in a circle.
Yep.
Two linemen get hooked up, and it goes to one of you push the other one out. That's Bull in the Ring.
Okay. But we also did another Bull in the Ring
Yeah,
where there was one person in the middle. Everybody's standing in a circle. Coach would call out a number of one of the people standing in the circle. The person in the middle would have to turn to wherever that person's coming from, take on that hit, and then they would push each other.
yeah. I don't remember that one. I remember Bull in the Ring being
Buckner did that with us. I remember doing
yeah.
it.
I do remember the last day of her senior year, they did Bull in the Ring, and like of course you know who they put me up against, don't you?
Robert.
Yeah, so they put me and Robert up against each other,
Yeah.
and I'll be honest with you, I did get Robert out pretty easy that day, if I remember correctly. And that ain't talking trash. It just if it went the other way at this point in life, I would just tell you.
Yeah.
Robert can catch passes and stuff better than me.
Yeah.
But it was like I get Robert out, and so I'm like, "Whoo, I'm done. I survived it. It's over with." And then we had Joey Reed, who was the fifth, who was like one of the only five seniors on that team, who was also a lineman. Was like, I didn't go, so I had to go against Joey.
Oh, nice.
And Joey got my feet that close to the edge, like just a fraction, and then I was able to spin and get him out. But he got close.
He would have been kind of a tough one in that just because he had a low center of gravity. So he was kind of
Yeah, I mean, so did Robert, but Robert's what, 6 foot, and I'm 6'4", and Joey was
Yeah,
probably
Robert's probably about 5'10",
Robert's
5'11".
probably about 5'10". I mean, I don't know. I think
Yeah,
him, but no, it probably was the I'd already gone, and Joey was pretty fresh.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and well, I'm just saying that because I Joey didn't play football his senior year, so he really didn't get much playing time. But hats off
yeah.
to him. Anyway, Travis, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, anyway, there's been some good press conferences, and
Yeah,
the well, I wanted to kind of talk about some of the players that the coaches are bragging about, and then we'll kind of finish up talking about what our general thought is, I guess, talking about it. Next week, folks, we're gonna do our schedule prediction episode. We got a special guest coming in,
excited
but
about it.
but anyway, one of the ones that's really getting a lot of talk from the coaches. I'm just gonna kind of go down through uh sort of through the roster a little bit and kind of bring up some people. Um, the one that's getting the most pub, man, is Mike Washington Jr., Clint.
He is, yes, sir.
And that's kind of, it's um on Trey Biddy's podcast today, he was sort of mentioned this. It's kind of weird because, Mike Washington is not necessarily like he didn't in the recruiting thing, he didn't really excite everybody. Okay. This is a guy that split carries at New Mexico State. The guy that he split carries with is now at Kentucky. Was supposed to be a good running back at Kentucky, at New Mexico State, but is third in the depth chart at Kentucky right now. Um, he's got, there's was talk about one of his weakness was holding on to the ball. But man, from what we're hearing, he's just crushing it. Like he's
Yeah.
hitting like 60 and 50-yard runs on a regular. He's, you know, they're comparing him to Nile Davis as far as his running style because he's big and he's fast. He's 228 pounds, pretty good sized fellow. He's it sounds like, I mean, the way everybody's talking about him, he's the starter. Like he
Yeah.
probably start in front of Braylon Russell right now. What do you think we can expect from Mike Washington?
Well, I'm excited about Mike Washington. I mean, I really, when you have somebody that comes in that does that, it pushes everybody behind him.
Mm,
There was, there was, of course, the reports that Braylon Russell not being in the best of shape, didn't have a good spring, I guess, would be.
yeah,
But there was a lot of drama around Braylon, so we can,
yeah,
uh, we ain't got to rehash that.
yeah,
But no, it's like, Mike probably, obviously but I'd heard that's who we wanted. Like when he got in the portal,
yeah,
that's who they wanted. Like
yeah,
they targeted him, and it's kind of like Taylor. Like when Taylor got in the portal, that's who Petrino wanted. Like
yeah,
that's the guy. And so yeah, he probably does remind a lot of people of Niall Davis, and Bobby Petrino probably, you know, that I bet when them groceries are in in the grocery store, and Petrino sees him, he tells Pittman, "I want this, I want this."
yeah,
I'm sure Pittman has final say, but
yeah. But yeah,
he's obviously a Petrino type back.
yeah. Well, and it was interesting. They were talking. Petrino was talking too about. Was it? No, it wasn't Petrino's. Uh, the running back coach Colby. Uh,
Yeah,
is it Smith?
Smitham.
Yeah, he was talking about with Braylon Russell. They've been sending him videos of players that they want him to learn from, and one of those is Mike Allstott. And he said he's watched a lot of Mike Allstott highlights, and he's watched a lot of um, oh heck, what's his name with the Ravens?
Oh,
Alabama.
Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry, yeah. He's watched a lot of Derrick Henry, and that's who he wants to be like, he said. So
Well, I mean,
that
who
those,
wouldn't?
yeah, exactly. But and he's a big guy, so that's what they're. But anyway, so that's neat to hear. Another guy they're talking about on offense is KJ Jackson is looking very good, and
Yeah,
uh, he did he did the press conference today, well spoken. It's the first time we've really heard him in a press conference. And well spoken, seems extremely intelligent. Him and one thing I was impressed with is him and Talon seem to be really close. They seem
Yeah.
to be really, really good
You
friends.
know, it really reminded me. I didn't see, or maybe I wasn't into it as much as I am now, watching press conference stuff. But KJ became a really good leader at least that first year. We can talk about when NIL became a thing and how he went. I think that's been discussed,
Yeah,
but but at least he learned a lot of leadership skills from Felipe Franks.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I don't think if KJ hadn't sat under Felipe Franks for that 1 year that he did.
yeah.
I don't think we have the 9-4 season and go to the Outback Bowl.
No, you're right.
Um, but that performance that KJ Jefferson put on against Missouri convinced Pittman, like, I'm not going to the portal.
Yeah,
Got my guy.
yeah.
And I think, KJ Jackson has got that ringing endorsement
I
already.
think so too.
He's like, no,
Um,
I'm not going. I got KJ. So
they had a scrimmage Saturday, and we've already talked about the receivers a lot, so I'm not going to rehash a lot of that. I just wanted to bring up some names that we haven't really talked as much about. We did have a Courtney Crutchfield sighting in the scrimmage. He caught a touchdown in the scrimmage. Uh, and Monte Harrison. Apparently Harrison and KJ Jackson, which in the press conference today, it was funny. They were like, KJ, how old are you? He said, well, I'm 19. And they're like, well, and Monte Harrison is about to be 30. um, how is it that y'all have such a great connection? Because apparently they have a
yeah,
really solid connection on the field. And so he said we just get each other. He said I feel like I know what he's going to do, especially on choice routes. I feel like I know what choice he's going to make, and so we've worked well together. So that's neat.
yeah.
Another name we haven't talked about much, but a guy that seems to be a lot of, especially like some of the D backs even talked about this guy that he was tough to guard, is Jalen Brown.
Yeah, I've heard a lot. I've heard the brothers Brown a lot, CJ and Jalen.
And
But
Jalen is a transfer from Florida State.
Florida State came in because we had was it Travis Jackson? Is that who it is? Also, the quarterback that transferred in, he kind of came
Yeah.
in, didn't talk much about the receiver, but apparently real speedster, looking good.
Yeah. He's 6'1", so he's got some good height. He's kind of skinny, 171 pounds. Not a real thick guy, but he's a deep threat. And so that's about what you want there. So those are, like I said, we've talked about some of these other guys.
Well, yeah, for sure. And after listening to the press conferences and seeing how Pittman's, mood was after the scrimmage,
Mhm.
I'm I was always encouraged because I'm an eternal optimist. I want to see the good in everything. I feel even more encouraged. I really do. I think this is a good football team, but the problem is we're playing a lot of good football teams.
That's right. That's the tough part is,
That's the tough part. I do think we have a very, very good football team. If we were playing Missouri's schedule, I'd pick it. I'd be easily picking us to win 9 or 10 games.
yeah.
But we're not playing Missouri's schedule. We're playing our schedule.
When it comes to the offensive line, we've already talked about Corey Robinson, but a couple backups that they mentioned, and especially they talked about the quarterbacks today in the press conference, talked about a couple guys that I wanted to bring up. One of them is Blake Cherry. Uh, they say he's looking really good. They got him listed at left guard right now. But another one that they're talking good about this kid is Cash Courtney. Um, they say he has just, well, pretty much if Kittler hadn't had all the experience, that Courtney would have a chance to start right now.
Yeah.
Um, he they say he is really impressive, that he's already a leader of the offensive line as far as he's making calls and everything really well. That he's a hard worker, that I mean, everything you can say good about a center, they're saying it about him. And there's been some people throw around the comparisons to Travis Swanson, people like that, which is a pretty daggum good comparison there. If you get compared to him, so that's good to hear. That's good because we really haven't heard a lot about these freshman offensive linemen that are coming in a lot.
No, and,
Uh,
and it's going to be hard for the youngins to break through and play a lot.
yeah,
Just it is because goodness, Travis, I feel good about the depth on the offensive line. I really do.
yeah,
I mean, when you got Blackenstock, who's a Big Ten transfer, probably got paid a lot of money to come to Arkansas,
yeah,
and he's your seventh option most likely.
yeah,
I mean, we were talking before the podcast went on that if what would the offensive line look like if we were to play today, and
yeah,
me and you were in agreement. Um, Corey Robinson, he's an ink at left tackle, Carmona at left guard, Kittler at center.
yeah,
And then me and you both agree Branham appears to have won the left guard job.
yep.
Or at least that's the way it's definitely looking. And that it looks like we think that Amarion Harris, if it was to play today, he'd be starting at right tackle.
And yeah, and I think Harris is the guy that would be your first backup if any of the other positions went down, probably.
Yeah. Yeah, the only the
Um,
only thing is you got to have a backup for center because having that ball in your hands, having to make the calls.
and that's where Cash Courtney would do that, I think.
Yeah,
Sounds like but you got Edmondson working there also. So
yeah.
that's a
So
guy
I
that's
mean,
got to,
but and Edmondson played some last year. He
yeah,
started the bowl game. He played.
yeah,
There was one game where someone was it Louisiana Tech where he got hurt and where he's at SMU now. I can't think of his name.
yeah. I forget his name, but yeah, I know you're
Addison
talking about
Nichols got hurt
Nichols.
and,
Yeah,
and he played quite a bit of that game. And I thought he played fine.
yeah,
Pittman seemed like, yeah, he did all right.
yeah. I think, but I think you're right. But I still think Shaq McRoy is on his way. Um, I think the big thing with him is just Harris knows more of the offense. He knows more of the calls. He's got more experience. Remember, Shaq McCoy's coming in. He's a freaking monster. Okay. I
Right.
mean, everybody that covers him say they've never seen a guy that big. Maybe Dan Skipper was taller, and some of the other guys, maybe a little taller, but as far as just a big man, Shaq McCroy is a huge man. And so if he can take that and translate it onto the field, look out. On defense, there's we know Cam Ball, for sure, awesome. They can't say it. Travis Williams could not say enough good things about Cam Ball. But at the other defensive tackle spot, you got Gaffard and Danny Solly. I think right now, I think they're kind of interchangeable, but also in that same position as David Oki.
Yeah.
All three of those guys are going to provide a lot for this defense, I think, this year.
Well, yeah, especially if you do run a little bit more 3-3-5,
Yeah.
which I think they're going to, because I think
Yeah.
linebackers, the depth of this team, when they're talking about, one of the names I kept hearing coming up, not trying to get off the defensive line already, but was Andrew Harris. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's talking a lot about Andrew Harris. He was a commitment at Central Florida at one time, and he's finally coming on. They said it's almost like a light bulb went off.
Yeah.
So, and they said, that's going to help. I think last year linebacker was a strength of the defense, and figuring out a way to get more linebackers on the field is probably a good thing.
Well, before we leave the defensive line, though, I want to bring up another guy
Right.
that's getting a lot of talk, and that's Justice Boone.
Heard that name.
Justice Boone is really they're talking about him, and apparently this fall it is clicking for him. He is really showing out. He's a guy that played at Florida and had some stats at Florida. I think he actually started out. No, yeah. Anyway, he started out at Florida. and transferred into Arkansas. But they're really saying some good things about him. The offensive linemen are talking about how hard he is to block, how hard he's making them work. So I'm anxious to see him. You know, he's 6'4", 278. So you would think at that size he maybe has a little bit of scat to him. So hopefully we see him do some things. Back to linebacker. Um, we've talked about how good the linebacker room is. One guy we haven't talked about much, which in the press conference he talked, and then he was talked about a lot more after the press conference, and that's Steven Dix Jr.
Yeah.
Dude, he is a freaking beast. Like he just looks like a football player. I mean,
And
all these
wasn't he
guys look like
safety
football.
wherever we got him from?
Huh?
I think wherever he came from, I believe he was playing safety, and Arkansas moved him to linebacker.
Um,
But anyway, I may be wrong. I could be imagining that.
I'm not sure. But I played outside linebacker in high school.
Okay.
He was at Marshall, and he enrolled at Florida State first, but I don't think he played there. Or anyway, transferred to Marshall. Anyway, now he's at Arkansas. But man, just a really intelligent guy, and that's what the coaches say about him. Like he's a middle linebacker, so he's the guy that's going to be making a lot of your calls and trying to get everybody lined up. So that's an important position, of course. And man, he just really like he was very impressive in that daggum interview. He was just like he's a guy that just wow. I was impressed with him big time. And just looking at him too, man, he got just broad shoulders, looks like a beast. I mean, he's listed at 246 pounds, 6'1", 246. That's an SEC middle linebacker right there. You know, he's gonna look good coming off the bus.
Yeah.
Another guy you mentioned, Andrew Harris. They're talking good about him. He's a guy that they said, that like in the spring he wasn't necessarily doing much, but really just a lot came on, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Wyatt Simmons, there's a lot of good talk about him. You know, his dad's a coach at Harding. He's a just a they're saying a lot of good stuff about him. Xavier Sorey.
Well, he's the 5-star linebacker that he was in high school. I mean,
Yeah, he's doing great.
he's great. Yeah.
Bradley Shaw is a guy that Sorey and Shaw both are guys that they'll put down, especially if they run that 3-man front. They'll move those guys down and rush with them some. They're the type of guys, especially Shaw. Um, so anything else on the linebackers you wanted to bring up on those guys, any of those
No,
guys?
we covered it pretty good.
Um, as far as safeties go, Miguel Mitchell's a guy that gets a lot of talk. Scandrick, Caleb Wooden, is a guy that has gotten a little talk too. He's a Auburn transfer. Um, so he may be able to help. He's got a little experience. Uh, but then when it comes to our corners, one of the things, man, we got some tall, long corners.
Yeah.
We got Selman Bridges, 6'2". He's a sophomore. He's a guy that, he was a big recruit last year. He's 6'2", 185. Kari Walker is a transfer that came in. He's the Oklahoma transfer. He was also at Louisville before that. they're saying some really good things about him. That in fact, most people think he's the starter. Uh, they think Keyshawn Davila, I think, is going to be the other starter. He's 6'1". He's kind of slight. He's kind of a smaller guy. Um, he's the guy that transferred from UCLA. No, I'm sorry, he didn't transfer. He committed to Arkansas. He's been at Arkansas.
Get your facts right, Johnson.
Sorry,
I'm the one that makes stuff up on this podcast.
my bad. But anyway, so there, we'll see on the corners. The defensive backfield is the thing that, like, I'm starting to feel a little better about the receivers than I did. Clint, I still worry about these defensive backs, mainly just because they got to prove it to me. I got to see that these guys can run. Jaheim Singletary is still listed as a possible starter. Dude, if you remember, there was times he got picked on last year.
You bring that up every podcast.
Yeah, but then it broke my heart. I mean, I felt for the guy. I'm not trying to talk bad about him, but
no.
It was just that's rough when you watch that. When you see teams, Ole Miss and some of them just relentlessly.
Well, Travis, I tell you, we can talk about all that. I think we got the Jimmy and Joes to win some football games.
Yeah.
But I think so does everybody else.
Yeah.
So what's this season going to come down to? And I think Trey Biddy or arch nemesis pointed it out on top, what this season is going to come down to. When the decision has to be made, when you've got to make a decision to go for it on this 4th and 2, do I kick the field goal here? Do I punt here? What do I do?
Yeah.
That Sam Pittman gets the decision right.
Yeah.
That's
going to be huge.
That's been one of the things that you've complained about is there's, some of the, like, I get why you've made that decision, but that decision was wrong.
Yeah.
You should have done this. And now we have the joy of hindsight. He doesn't. But to be a football coach making what he's making, you've got to start getting those decisions right. And if you
got to make those head coaching decisions.
Yep.
Yep.
If he makes head coaches decisions, there's 11 winnable games on the schedule. But you're going to have to make those decisions right more often than not. Yeah. And right now you just haven't proven you can do that yet, but I'm hoping, this year's the year.
Yeah. Yep. I hope so, man. That's what we hope for sure. We'll see. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what I pick on the schedule next week. I haven't really done any preliminary stuff on that yet, but I don't know what my final pick will be as far as numbers, but I don't know, Clint.
Think about it till we go through the podcast.
Yeah.
But you know what? There's a lot of opportunity to prove you got a very good football team next year.
Yeah.
And, I guarantee you those players ain't sitting there whining about how hard the schedule is. They're looking forward to the challenge.
Yeah.
So, and I'm looking forward to watching them take it on.
I'll tell you another thing that makes me feel good. We talked about some things the coaches have said that made me feel good. Every one of these players that have come in for these press conferences, Clint, has talked about things that they've done as a group.
Yeah.
Like for team building stuff. Like the linebackers talked about went bowling and they went to like an escape room. Stuff like that. Dude, yeah. I like to hear that kind of thing. Because that tells me the coaches have them doing stuff to build unity. And in this NIL climate, building team unity, building culture, building, all those things, that's what separates a lot of these teams. The coaches that can do that, because you can win. I mean, it's always been a thing, right? The team that plays better together is going to beat a team that has, the most, maybe has more talent, but doesn't play well together most of the time. Okay. And so that's something that I really am glad to hear that talk. These guys that are coming in, seem to really enjoy hanging out together as they're doing the press conferences and stuff like that. They're talking about things they're doing outside of the field, outside the facilities that are, you know, more
Yeah.
than just it's more than just yeah, we got together and played video games one time, you know. They're doing other stuff. So that's a good thing. Riding go-karts, they're doing all kinds of crazy stuff. So, that's good. Clint, I was going to ask you a question. We're totally switching here, but before we finish up,
Was it 208, 209, 20
it's
something?
209. It's 209.
209.
So our schedule deal will be 210.
Oh,
So
210.
a couple of things real quick. First of all, did you hear that one of our big recruits that's from California, 2026
Transferred to
recruit,
Conway.
transferred to Conway? How crazy is that? Now, the kid, of course, his mom went to high school in Valonia. Our buddy Wes coached his mom there. She ran track, and but he's already, I think, started his first practice last night for Conway and playing for Buck James, and so that's interesting.
I was going to say I could care less, but I bet Buck James is excited.
Yeah, that's so. Yeah.
Oh,
And
four-star
then
D1 recruit. Don't mind if I do.
that's right. Yeah. Now the other thing is, Clint, on ESPN radio this morning, they asked an interesting question. It's an NFL question. I know we don't normally do a lot of NFL,
Hmm.
but it's one that had me thinking, and I had an obvious answer for my favorite team. And I was going to see what you thought about this question.
Okay.
Okay. The Dallas Cowboys, we know, crazy, right? They're fun to pick on, everything, right? But you
Yeah,
know,
Stephen A. Smith makes a living doing it.
yeah. But everybody likes to bring up, of course, that it's been so long since they won a championship, all that kind of stuff. And Jerry, keeps acting like they just won one last year, the way he does things. The Micah Parsons drama. There's drama for every guy they sign or whatever. But the host on ESPN's morning show this morning was talking unsportsmanlike. He said, "How many teams?" And he asked this. He said, "Would your favorite team, for your favorite team?" And I know you don't have a favorite team anymore, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, I like players and I get behind teams and get behind
Okay.
stories, but I don't.
All right, but think about this. If you were just one of your teams, you think, okay, if you could switch places and have the history from the last, 30 years or so that the Cowboys have, win three the first few years, win three championships, and then at least be in the conversation most years, not every year, but a lot of years you're in the conversation, but you still have a lot of people hating on you because you got crazy drama. Would you trade that for what your team has experienced over that time?
Okay, as a fan, I'd probably take that deal. As Jerry Jones, I'd just look at my bank account and not care.
Yeah, yeah. But I was thinking about it as a Browns fan. Sign me up, dude.
Yeah, you get
That's a total reset of what the Browns are.
I mean, would you rather have Detroit's history, Cleveland's history, or Dallas's history?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, there was a guy called in, and he was a Steelers fan, and he said he would take it. And I'm like, no, no, no. I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that at all if I was a Steelers fan, because the
No, not a
Steelers are
Steelers
in it
fan.
every year.
Yeah.
And they compete every year. They've won some championships. They've spread their championships
I
out.
won 2 or 3 that I can remember. Did Big Ben win 2?
I can't remember, but they're legit.
Yeah, he won one with Tom.
Like I wouldn't trade that for nothing.
No.
But for the Browns, for the Jets, for Tampa Bay, well, maybe not Tampa Bay, because they got
the
Brady.
Jets basically get that without the Super Bowl wins.
Yeah.
I mean, they get the drama and everything.
Yeah.
So
Anyway, I thought that was an interesting
Yeah.
question. But for the Browns, I mean, because like the Browns, what do the Browns have to live on? 1946 NFL championship. That's the last championship. And then some AFC championship games they attended. Didn't win them,
no.
but attended and lost big time in them because, you know, the drive with John Elway was one of them. The Joe Morris fumble was another one. Okay. So you got, that's it. You know, that, and I became a fan of the Browns because of one of those mid 80s, you know, those mid 80s games when they were actually pretty good. But since then, I don't have nothing to hang my hat on much, you know. But anyway, it would be a total reset for them. It'd be a total reset for, like you said, for Detroit. So anyway, I thought that was an interesting question to put out there. You would take a lot of the drama because at least, if nothing else, look, I used to root for the Cowboys, and I don't because of Jerry Jones. Okay, I don't because of him. However, at least he strives to put a good product out there every year. He puts his money toward getting a good product and marketing his product. At least he does that. Okay. And I can at least respect that. So anyway. Well, Clint, 209 in the books, homie.
209 in the books. We're off to the big season prediction shows next week. You don't want to miss it. Got a very special guest lined up.
That's right.
We're super excited about it.
That's right.
Anyway, I think we crushed this one, Travis.
Yeah, man. Crushed it. So,
crushed
folks.
The show well. You need to like this show, share it, and subscribe.
Right comment now. Even. Comment. Tell us what you thought. Tell us what players you're looking at you think would be good to watch this year that you're excited about, all the things.
Or is it all doom and gloom? Are we too sunshine and rainbow?
Yeah, maybe so. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, folks, thank y'all so much. And don't forget, you can always check this out on other places like Spotify, Apple, things like that. If you want to set it up to where it goes there, or keep watching us on the YouTubes, we'll always be there. Clint, have fun down in Texas, homie.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Sweat, work, filthy, dirt, harvest, hurt, kingdom come. Listen, that's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Listen, I wake up in the morning, I bow my head to pray. Mama told me if I don't, ain't nothing gonna change. These prayers breaking up hard ground so I can sow the seed. Ain't afraid of no aches and pain. Lord knows I gotta follow his lead. That's why I sweat when I work. My hands get filthy down in this dirt. Won't see no harvest till I hurt. Crying your kingdom come. Oh, I sweat when I work. My hands